The average career of an NFL player is what these days, 3, maybe, 4 years? For the second time in as many days, a 30-something, recently elite fantasy football running back agreed to terms with a new squad. Adrian Peterson and Marshawn Lynch are freaks of nature. As Raiders beat writer Vic Tafur noted, "You're talking about two running backs with the most yards after contact since 2010. You're also talking about two backs on the wrong side of 30 years old." AP signing with the Saints after missing most of 2016 with a knee injury is one thing, but Lynch took all of 2016 off. Now he's back. If you dig into his stats a little, his decision to step away from the game makes sense. From 2011-15, a span of 70 games, Lynch ranked third in rush attempts behind Frank Gore and LaShawn McCoy. In fact, even though Lynch hasn't played in the past 23 regular season games, he still ranks fifth in rush attempts from 2011-16. I could see why he needed time to heal up. The Seahawks ran him into the ground. The good news is Lynch 2.0 has a shot to embrace a large role with the Raiders, albeit in an offense that's different from the one he played in with Seattle. Derek Carr has played in all but one regular season game since he was drafted in 2014. He missed the one only because his left leg snapped in the previous game. The pass-heavy offense has become slightly more balanced as the Raiders' defense improved over the past 3 seasons. Remember, the Raiders were outscored by 199 points in 2014 or 12.4 points per game. So, Carr was chucking the ball around during garbage time. Here are the 3-year rush percentages of all Seahawks plays during Lynch's last 3 full seasons. In addition to Lynch's heavy workload, Russell Wilson averaged more than 100 rush attempts per season during that stretch to bump up those splits. So, fantasy owners know Lynch won't be rushing 300 times in 2017, but what should they expect? Few people probably realize late obvious Murray was a red zone machine for the Raiders last season. Sure, the 12 rushing touchdowns may tip them off, but is it common household knowledge that Murray ranked 6th in rushes inside the 20, 40 attempts, 5th inside the 10, 26 attempts, and 4th inside the opponent's 5, 17 attempts? So, if the Raiders elect to use Lynch in a similar fashion, fantasy owners can expect 200-225 rush attempts with a heavy red zone workload. It wouldn't shock me, however, if Lynch finished north of 225 rush attempts. The final tally also depends on the defense's ability to keep games close. Jalen Richard carved out a role during his rookie campaign with the Raiders last season. At 5'8", he is the definition of a change-of-pace back. He finished with 83 carries for 491 yards, 5.9 YPR, and added 29 receptions for 194 yards with 3 total touchdowns. The most active pass-catching running back still on the roster, Richard was part of a 4-headed committee in the backfield. Unlike Peterson's time with the Vikings, Lynch was becoming more involved in the Seahawks' passing game before his injury-shortened 2015 season. He caught 73 passes for 683 yards with 6 touchdowns from 2013-14. It'll be interesting to see if the Raiders send Lynch out in the flat or if Richard and Andre Washington see those targets. Of all the running backs behind Murray, Washington posted the most fantasy points in any one game last year. Standing about the same size as Richard, Washington rushed 12 times for 99 yards with 2 touchdowns against the Colts in Week 16. He averaged 5.4 yards on 87 carries in 14 games last season. With Lynch coming to town, I can't imagine Washington's role changes much. Assessing the fantasy football value of Marshawn Lynch is very different than doing so for Adrian Peterson's new chapter in New Orleans. First, Lynch is going to be the RB1 workhorse with fresher and, relatively, healthier legs than Adrian's. With running back committees peppered around the league, splintering touches and targets, Lynch can lock up fantasy RB2 status in 2017 with a high ceiling should he play in all 16 games. Depending on league scoring, His average draft position pre-NFL draft would be the 4th or 5th round.